things that happened this past week are going to be carrying on to next week too. More on that later, but for now, let's jump into one battle after another.
You know, you are so unsuitable for my daughter. My child comes from a whole line of revolutionaries. And you look so lost. What are you gonna do about this baby?
You know what freedom is?
What?
No fear. Go.
Paul Thomas Anderson is back.
Yeah.
Teamed with Leo DiCaprio for the first time in both their careers. We've got Benicio del Toro rewriting his entire character in the first day of set. This is a story that I don't even really know how to say other than it's a try to get your daughter back story.
Yes.
But what else is there?
Yeah.
Everything.
Very, I guess, culturally significant, right? Because there's a lot of immigration stories, police presence in major cities. Chase Infinity, by the way, do you guys know the origin of her name?
No.
She's named after Chase Meridian from Batman.
Amazing.
And
Stop it.
To Infinity and Beyond from Toy Story.
The Chase Meridian one is a real cool pull. I'm into that.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman, you could do better than Keith. I'm so mad about
Clearly
that.
she
Dude,
is.
let's talk about Keith Urban.
We can't sign
Fumble of a
Is this a
lifetime.
gossip show now?
Well, I just had to say it. You know, girl, you have a good life and get away from bad men like that, you know?
I hope all their hair straighteners were predetermined in the prenup.
I love what was the line that I kept hearing? It's like what she said after she had divorced with Tom Cruise. I can wear heels now.
Yeah.
So the same thing applies in this case to Keith.
I also read, she was going to movies by herself all the time anyways.
Yeah.
As we
Well,
saw
what's
in the
wrong with
AMC
that?
ads, right? Nothing.
Movies by yourself, it's the way to go.
Yeah.
It's the only way I go. All right, so one battle after another. We love this, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, tell me about it, Rebecca.
What do you want to know? Like the plot?
Your feelings, your thoughts.
Initially, I left the movie and I was torn between 4.5 stars or 5 stars. And ultimately, the 5-star movie for me, because it is one of those movies where everyone's talking about it. And the more I hear people talk about it, the more I'm like, yeah, that movie actually rocked. And it was so much fun. It's, I think, pretty simple in its premise. Leonardo DiCaprio ultimately trying to get his daughter back, and in the long run, doesn't do anything meaningful to help in her escape.
Yeah.
But his presence is so infectious throughout the whole movie. And Benicio del Toro, supporting actor win for me, I think. He, as Sensei, I think he's such a killer character, and I really love everything he did.
I was a bit conflicted at first because I'm like, I love Paul Thomas Anderson, anything he does. But I'm like, who am I rooting for here? You know, because you've got like the domestic terrorists, you have the evil military guys with Sean Penn leading the charge, and you've got this other organization. I'm like, oh no, is there a hero? But obviously you do have a hero here, and it's probably Chase Infinity,
Oh, for sure.
to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, these are all morally great characters in their own way, but the way this film is shown, and the cinematography, every shot is purposeful, and it feels like cinematic magic, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and this is based off a novel that was, I think you were reading this,
I did.
weren't you?
It's based off a Thomas Pynchon novel called Vineland, and I just finished it. Very loosely based on the book. A lot of Paul Thomas Anderson took a lot of his own liberties with the book. And
About
the
20 years
adaptation.
old, both
is,
his
yeah.
screenplay idea and the book.
Yeah, because the book takes place in the 90s, I want to say. And a lot of similarities, but I really like how Paul Thomas Anderson changed it and made it his own. The book was good. I am not like in love with it, but I liked the movie more than the book.
What makes a good adaptation, in my opinion, is when they both stand on their own without needing support from each other, right? Like the Jurassic Park movie and the Jurassic Park book are both equally as good, but they're so different from each other in many ways. And one battle after another has that because Paul Thomas Anderson is able to infuse so much of what his directing style is into it. And then he's open to collaborating with all of his people. Benicio del Toro basically wrote his character with a week before they started shooting.
And it's a
which is
killer
insane
character.
to me. And it's really, maybe the MVP of the entire show. It feels like if Rage Against the Machine and The Big Lebowski had a baby, that's what this movie is.
Honestly.
And the only thing that bugged me was the pacing. There are some parts where that opening thing feels more like a prologue than anything.
Yeah.
Maybe we could have revisited it more like perspective moments from what was happening on that side. But I understand them not doing it. But
I remember I checked my watch when we got to, because there was the whole establishing of like who Leonardo DiCaprio and Tiana Taylor are and their group and who they are, and Sean Penn as well, like establishing their whole history before really getting into the meat of the movie. And it was about 25 minutes long. And I remember thinking, oh, okay, we kind of do need this first 25 minutes to really actually care about these characters. Same reason, I use Gladiator as an example, because Gladiator takes 45 minutes to make you care about Russell Crowe before getting to the gladiatorness of it all.
Right.
And that's what One Battle After Another does, and I think it does it really well.
Did it need to be 2 hours and 40 minutes? Could have been longer. I guess that's
Could
that's
have
the
been
question.
Longer?
I mean, yeah, right.
Well, I guess if it's great, then there's no movie that
Yeah.
You
couldn't
look
be
at
too
these
long.
kind of directors, they may have a 4-hour cut somewhere and then
Yeah.
they pull it back to maybe 3. That's the thing. I saw this one a little bit late at night and I was like, okay, I'm kind of dragging a little bit. But it really does. Like from the very beginning, it just doesn't really let up.
Yeah.
At least in that first act.
I liked the length of it. I agree. I'm very much on team like 2-hour-long movies, but
Sure.
I thought this one was great. Like you said, it doesn't let up, and I was like focused the entire time and drawn in by what was happening.
Yeah.
In that third act, when they have this chase sequence where you're winding up and down these roads that are just continuously going
Why
up and
does it
down.
work so well?
Because the cinematography is
Yeah.
incredible. The editing is incredible for that. The way that you don't even expect what's coming until it's right. You are in the car with them, essentially. You don't know what's coming over the hill, just like the next person.
The payoff of that scene, the row behind me started clapping.
It was
And I was like, yeah.
it almost to the same effect as when the truck in The Dark Knight lifted and
Sure.
like just the shock value of something that happens in this is so good. I think this is definitely a runner-up for Best Picture. This is going to be nominated for as many categories as they could possibly
yeah.
put it in. But what do you think is going to win? Are we talking performances or are we talking technical?
I think Benicio del Toro for supporting, I think for sure. Maybe adapted screenplay?
Yeah, I think technical adapted screenplay
Yeah.
for sure.
That's a solid 2 picks.
Yeah.
So this is a see it for all of us.
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
100%.
It is in theaters right now. You guys can go and check this out.